Jawaballs!
Here we go. Now I'm recording, and everyone's good. So I think, yeah, I haven't started officially yet. Oh, it's 7:01. Time to start. Okay, here we go.
I'm here.
All right. There we are. Ah, yay! So welcome to Jawaballs Live. The date is October 10th, 2013, and this is my friend Matt Loader, and I'm Jawaballs. And tonight I got some fun stuff for you. First, I want to discuss, finish the conversation from last week where we talked about the difference between Melta guns and Grav weapons. But also, though, I want to talk about the reason why my friend Matt is here wearing this funny dress. You want to show him your dress?
There's no white action here.
I've known Matt now for almost 10 years. We've been pretty good friends. We met playing Dungeons and Dragons. And Matt is a game developer and a role player and a board gamer. And all-around great guy. And he's got a new Kickstarter going on. I'm going to have that posted up here in a second in the chat so you can see the link for the Kickstarter. And Miss is going to repeat that a few times throughout the show. And I don't have much else to say right now. I'll let Matt kind of take over and introduce what he's talking about.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Melta guns and...
Yeah, we'll get back to the Melta guns. But
bolters?
I don't want you to be sitting here oblivious to the conversation for 20 minutes.
No idea. So I got a game coming out. It's called Glamazons versus the Curse of the Chainmail Bikini. And it is a card game where you're a bunch of chainmail bikini girls, and the goal of the game is to actually get armor that works. Much as we all like to look at beautiful bodies not wearing a lot of clothes, it doesn't work so good when you're trying to, fight an ogre. So it's kind of ridiculous. Conan is cool, and he doesn't wear a shirt. But maybe, it'd be cool if not every girl in almost every game was not wearing clothes.
I always thought it was kind of ridiculous and impractical that all the dudes would be dressed up like tanks and all the chicks had these skimpy chainmail bikinis on. And so Matt's game kind of addresses that. The mechanic behind the game is like a bluffing game. And there's several card games with the same kind of premise. And what you do is, throughout the game, it's like a card game, and you kill monsters. And every time you kill a monster, you get the components to make an armor piece. And then you have to bluff each other out at the table, lying, doing whatever you have to do to get that armor piece from each other.
See, whoever did the most damage is really the one that gets the credit. If you murder a displacer beast, you murdered him pretty hard. There's only enough of him left to make like one hat, or maybe one pair of pants. So, you got to figure out who gets it.
So that's I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to get it in my own hands and play it. I'm pretty sure that Matt and I will be playing that game soon enough. It looks pretty cool. And Matt is just recently kind of stepping into the realm of developing his own games.
I my head, I want this Jawa to Jesus. I want the Jawa to perch on my shoulder here, like we're a team.
Hi guys. Yeah, these are my Jawa banners. The Ultramarines one is for sale. It's still there. This is the winner of Games Day 2012 Best Banner. It was featured in White Dwarf and on the GW website.
How about that?
Yeah. So trend of thought gone. I always start reading the chat and I lose my trend of thought. I can make you one. Check out my blog. Miss, link up my blog there. And on the right, if you scroll down, I've got a couple of Black Templar banners. There's a Battle for Terra, and there's Helbrecht. The Helbrecht one is beautiful. Just email me if we can chat about banners.
We're doing business. Business is good.
That's what business is all about, being good. So, Matt's game, Glamazons, it's pretty cool. And he's actually gotten offers from some of the major gaming companies to buy the rights to the game, but he decided to launch it himself so he can keep it the way he wants it and not lose that control over it.
Yeah, because Kickstarter is, that's the thing, right? Is that if I sell it to somebody else, they're gonna, do whatever they want with it. That's kind of the way it works. They might totally want to retheme it or change this or change that. And the thing for me was that I really wanted to do everything. I wanted to be in control of the whole thing, the whole process. And Also, I like publishing games.
Yeah.
I've been working for a lot of publishers for a long time, so it's my time to shine, baby.
If you've ever stepped into Matt's basement, which you haven't, of course, but I have.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Hopefully not. Hopefully you're not still in there crying for help. It's just floor to ceiling, wall to wall board games, and that's a sign of a man that has passion for the games. That is. Yeah, it's good stuff, and I'm glad to see it happen. And I love red Solo Cup. Yeah, we're drinking out of red Solo Cups. This is just beverage, by the way. So
sodas. I love cream soda. Big fan of cream soda.
Cream soda. So that's we'll get back
Snow White and
later
the Seven
on.
Jawas. I feel like that's a marketing opportunity.
I think you're right.
We should figure that out.
We have to abuse that. He's actually talking about the fact that the Ultramarines are called Smurfs. And this is Ultramarine banner. And the Jawa banner. Snow White and the Seven banners.
Snow White and the Seven Jawas.
Right, but Snow White and the Smurfs. Wait.
No. There's 7 dwarves.
Yeah, you're right. Forget that. Scratch it.
Somebody's had too much cream soda already.
Too many cream sodas. All right, so Snow White the costume. Oh, that's right. The Snow White.
Well, that's why
costume.
Snow White.
I was thinking totally.
Did you really just? Did you already? I think it says a lot about my lifestyle choices that and myself and Mr. Jawaballs here hanging out that he's already forgotten that I'm wearing the Snow White outfit. It's just such a normal sort of just thing that happens.
If you watch the video on his Kickstarter, he's got some great costumes that he wears in outfits. Not really, I mean, they're outfits, not costumes. But I found myself strangely interested in watching him wear these things. And I don't know if that was weird or not.
No, it's good. It's good.
I wanted to see what he would wear next.
If anybody's going to be at New York Comic Con, you should lurk me out because.
Are you doing a table?
No. I mean, I don't have money for that. If I had money to get a booth at New York Comic Con, I would not be on Kickstarter because I would have money to pay for everything.
Are they really expensive?
New York Comic Con booths, yes.
Yeah.
You get like an Artist Alley booth for not that much, but if you get like a proper booth, like it's definitely in the strong 5 figures. But
like $10,000.
Yeah. They're pretty serious. But we'll be there showing the game off, and I will be in a variety of fun outfits.
When are you going down to Comic Con? I've never gone, and I've always kind of wanted to.
I mean, the thing is, it's Comic Con, right? So it's not focused on just gaming.
Yeah.
But because of the success of like San Diego Comic Con, New York is like the second biggest, sort of nerd show in the U.S. There's a lot more crossover stuff, So like Wizards of the Coast I used to work for Wizards of the Coast for years, although we're not doing it this year, and we didn't do it last year either. But that's mostly because they don't have anything, because they're in between D&D editions. And,
Yeah.
Magic will be there, but they don't actually run Magic. There's tons of gaming stuff there too, because most people that are into comics are into gaming.
Yeah, it's pretty much crosses genre.
Yeah, exactly. So there's movies, there's video games, there's tabletop games. Games Workshop is usually there. I got a picture with a life-size Ultramarine a couple years ago.
Nice,
That
yeah.
was really fun. There's a picture of me like with a giant bolter, like
Cool.
another one, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, a couple years ago there was a game. They're no longer in business, but they launched the Space Marine game, and as promotion they were walking around the big bolters.
Yeah, I think that was probably what it was for. And a couple of shows ago, I did an interview with Dan Abnett actually, because he was there. Because it was the year that the Space Marines movie was coming out.
Yeah.
Right? Do you remember that?
I didn't that was
actually
like 2-3 years ago.
I didn't actually see it, but
It was just a DVD, straight to DVD.
yeah. I mean, I was.
It wasn't very good. I hate to say it, but
I mean, I really liked Dan though. He seemed like a really super nice guy.
yeah, I met him myself. He's a really nice guy. Yeah.
He seemed really psyched about the universe and the fiction, and just he was really like you could tell he was all coming from the right place. It wasn't like a cash in kind of thing. Like he was he loved the universe.
Yeah, and that's what's great about the writers for the Black Library. It's funny that we're on like a first name basis with Dan. Dan Abnett. Yeah, you know, they're totally into what they do and all of the lore. And what's really cool is that they communicate. Funny how we ended up on the Black Library.
That's fine.
But they communicate with each other, so they're very careful about each other's backstories and their plans for future backstories. So they don't step on each other's toes, and that's what makes all those books really good.
Well, I mean, you know, people can argue whatever they want about the different, you know, I think the mechanics of like the various Games Workshop properties and like, you know, War Machine and this, and you know, there's all kinds of arguments people can get in about mechanical stuff, but I think it's impossible to ignore that the Games Workshop universes are so well done.
Yeah.
Like the art, that you know, like all of the fluff stuff is just, you know, unbelievably well crafted and comprehensive. I mean, it's like 30 years almost now, right? Or is it 30 years?
I don't know how long they've been around.
It's been a long time. It's somewhere in the mid 80s, right? And the universes are just awesome.
And you know, people love to hate on GW. I've been doing my own fair share of hate on GW, but I gotta say, you know, they put out some awesome stuff. This is it's a Wraith Knight. Woo! I'm assembling this Wraith Knight to add to my Tau army, and it's just such a wonderful model. And
I love this guy over here.
Yeah, and you know, here's one of my Riptide.
Oh no, he's coming apart. Cheap piece of garbage. I mean,
garbage. You know, and then I got a Riptide in progress here. You know, it's just such an awesome model. If you've never seen a Riptide up close, there you go. I mean, he's like a third done, but definitely, while the prices make me very angry that they're charging, the models that they're putting out are fantastic, and I hate to say it, but they're worth the price.
Well, as somebody who has been involved on the other side, you know, publishing, now I'm publishing myself, but also just, you know, doing it for other people and, you know, working in other companies, the cost of stuff is ridiculously more expensive than it was years ago. You know? I mean, it used to be in the, you know, like early 2000s, China was like fully online in terms of getting stuff here and, you know, manufacturing like really high quality plastics and stuff, but now it got really expensive, you know. So there's games that came out like even look at something like Heroscape, which I absolutely love. Heroscape's amazing, but if you look at Heroscape, there's no way in a million years that the price point that stuff was coming in at could possibly be you know, like produced now. You know, the Heroscape Master Set that went for $40 in, you know, 2005 is like a $100 game now.
I think that's probably something that is like one of the hidden costs that people don't understand when we gripe about the cost. What is Heroscape?
Heroscape is like it's a really simplified minis, you know, hex-based minis game. So it's no measuring; it's all hexes. But you have these giant 3D terrain sets. And it's almost like building the battlefield is super fun because you just have all these like huge things. You're stacking up all these big tiles and, you know, making these crazy things. And then it's the theme of what you're doing is basically you are like in Valhalla or something, and it's like the greatest warriors of all time. So you have like demons fighting robots, fighting orcs riding dinosaurs, you know, fighting gorillas, you know, just the craziest stuff, dragons, you know. So it's got fantasy, sci-fi, you know, you got like Men in Black, like dudes with guns, you got military guys. It's just kind of anything and everything all thrown together, and the rules are super simple. So you're not going to have the depth of strategy of you know, like a true minis game, but you could just, you know, knock out a game in like a half hour, and it's just stupid fun on the table.
Who's producing that?
That was Hasbro.
Hasbro. Is Hasbro still in business? Are they still making games and toys?
Hasbro's kind of like still a really big deal.
Yeah.
Monopoly's going to do that for you, but also Hasbro makes still an insane amount of money on you know, like My Little Pony and G.I. Joe.
Yeah, well, I mean, you never know who really owns Hasbro.
No, Hasbro is huge. They're a publicly traded company. You do know who owns Hasbro.
We do. If we have stock.
Same with Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Don't you own stock in GW yet? Like,
no.
That feels like a thing that you should at least own one.
I should have some. You know what?
Everyone should buy like at least one share.
I'm going to buy a share of GW. I need to give me a link for a share of GW on Scott Trade.
Yeah, if anybody was really interested in Heroscape 2, you should check out Heroscapers.com. It's like a huge, because the game is basically dead in terms of like new product, like official product, but tons of people do minis conversions. So they'll write up stat cards and do the whole thing with all kinds of stuff. And people sharing maps and scenarios and all kinds of stuff, and it's like really a fan-driven thing at this point because it wasn't a big enough success for Hasbro, and the cost to produce it is ridiculous now. So it's one of those kind of hidden gems. Well, it's not that hidden, but it's definitely like everybody. If you're into Warhammer or any kind of miniature gaming, like it's definitely worth checking out.
I'll have to try it because you
gotta come over. I have so much.
I need to spend more time in his basement. It's kind of funny in recent time, like the last just this year, kind of the last 6-10 months. I've been I've been more interested in games that require zero effort. Like
effort is awful.
As opposed, as opposed to this, these are a couple of my broadsides. They're just floundering here on my table, not getting painted. It just requires so much work. I like games like X-Wing, which I was talking about last week.
X-Wing is great too.
I can just sit down and put my TIE fighters on the table and just have a lot of fun. And I did that last week with Fritz and a couple of guys at the club, and we spent like 3.5 hours playing that game.
Oh, it's so fun.
And it was just fun, man. That was some of the best time I've had gaming in a long time.
That's really good. There's also, they just did a Star Trek one.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Star Trek Attack Wing uses the same. They actually licensed the mechanics from Fantasy Flight.
Well, the Fantasy Flight's not making the game? Fantasy
Flight did X-Wing, which they kind of like arguably stole the mechanics from Wings of War. But then WizKids licensed the X-Wing system for Star Trek Attack Wing. And then they changed some stuff. They added some cool stuff that's more appropriate because X-Wing is far more about like many ships dogfighting. Whereas Star Trek is more about singular capital ships interacting with each other, and so WizKids wanted to do some changes to the rules. So there's a little bit more stuff there that favors that each player has a single big ship kind of thing, as opposed to like a squad of like a dozen
I saw that.
fighters.
Some guys were playing at the club, and of course I'm going to get sucked in. I'm going to get caught up on chat.
The thing with that though is that it's pretty easy to follow that stuff and not lose a ton of money.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about this last night, how, everybody on here, that like I don't know, some of you are probably 12, so it's probably not as big a deal for you. But if you're like an adult, I agree. Whoever just said the Attack Wing ships are awful.
I was gonna go there.
That is true. They're really awful ships. They repurposed older sculpts that they had, and the scale is all off. I mean, they're disgusting. The game is really fun though. The game is really good.
It's just X-Wing.
Yeah. I have friends that, did all conversion ships. You can buy the micro machines. Like Star Trek did, they did like micro machine ships for a lot of them, and you can just like rebase them and use those and repaint them and stuff, and those come out pretty good.
I was gonna say, because I saw like the next generation with the NC-1701D, and it looked really bad.
They're awful. Some of them are really, really awful. But we were saying, like last night, we were talking about actually how when you're an adult and you're talking about money, like being into gaming is a lot more reasonable than being into boating or like classic cars or a lot of these other hobbies that like my peers and your peers as like grown up dudes. I have friends that are like, like I'm into deep sea fishing, and so like every weekend, or like they regularly go on these trips that are like
that's an expensive hobby.
Thousands of dollars to go out on a boat and catch fish, and it's like all of a sudden. $500, $1,000, Army update is not that ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was talking about how I just went and dumped a bunch of cash on over the summer. I bought Tau and Eldar, and I got some sticker shock, and you can do it dressed as Snow White. And
I could do anything dressed as Snow White. Really.
Yeah, and I've seen them.
I teach fighting. Actually, is one of the things that I do. I teach Krav Maga, and. So I can totally beat the hell out of dudes dressed like Snow White and it's fun.
Let's see some of the... We got a link here.
That's to buy stock.
A link here for a stock. GW stock.
It's $12.
Or
is that 12 pounds, which means it's like $400.
No, this is in Scotch. This is dollars.
It's no, it's not really.
It's down. It went down.
It's down from this morning. It lost like 0.2 cents.
No. Not even. It was a .02.
That's because you did that. You said something mean on the internet and had that
maybe.
effect.
I've always been a staunch GW supporter.
Look at this, 31.7 million shares outstanding.
I think I'm gonna have to buy some of this. I'm gonna buy like 10 shares.
Their market cap is almost $400 million.
Do they give dividends?
That's a big company.
Oh, they do give dividends.
That's
5.38%.
That ain't bad. It's better than the bank.
So what's that for 10 shares?
To buy them, to buy 10 shares, it'd be like $120.
5.38 dividend. I don't know. What else we got here? Someone else, Dragon Wrath. I wanted to see your comment. Hold on. You said something about, and I hear your pain. If GW keeps angering people, they will be in the past too. I don't think so. I think that GW is always going to survive, because the thing is that there's always it. Oh,
You just said to look at the trend. Keep talking.
Oh.
Oh, snap.
oh, look where it was. What? In '09, it was at $2 a share.
G-Dub, crushing it.
Look at that. Imagine if when my son was born.
This is when Space Hulk came out, huh?
Yeah, right around there. Yeah, and that's really what that. You know what? Funny thing for GW. Here's a little GW lesson. Looking at the trends for the stock in 2009, it was at about $2 a share. Now it's at $12 a share. Funny thing, in 2009, that's when they released the Storm Raven and Space Hulk, and they started putting out very expensive but very nice models. So I wonder if that's paying off for them, just to kind of counteract what you were saying.
You know what else, though? You know what else they did? They did do, and which is probably far more actually a factor, is that really good video game properties started coming out.
Yeah.
Like licensed video game properties. That's around the time also that they started the products that they licensed to Fantasy Flight, the board game.
Yeah, Fantasy Flight got hold of like Talisman.
So they did Chaos in the World, Talisman. You know, it's when it looks like that's when they did a lot of licensing of the brand, which again brings it back to the quality of the universe and the fiction and the artwork and sort of like the depth there that, you know, maybe they're not designing the best games at everything, but, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do in that universe. Universe is.
I think that, yeah, you know, exactly. They've been kind of spreading it out there and putting out, you know, they've been making a lot more money. Charging the prices, but maybe that's evidence that they're playing, even though everyone hates it, works.
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot more in there. I don't know much about the financial aspects, but there's something else going on. Someone else explained it on a blog I saw, that they're actually selling less product, but at a higher price, which is causing their income to grow, I guess, because their production costs are down, but they're still making the same amount of money.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So that's kind of why they're surging right now. Maybe it's a good time to grab hold of that $12 stock, because it's going to go to $25. Then I'm going to get rich on my.
I don't know. I'd buy one. I'm surprised I haven't bought one yet, because it just seems like a fun thing. You know, like, everybody do it. Like, let's get a Jawaballs coalition, and then Chris can get sent to like the shareholder meeting, and he can represent the Jawaballs interests, and you know, like yell at whoever is in charge. It's like, we need this thing. That's the thing. If you buy enough stock, you get to go. You get letters. That's the thing too. You get all the letters. You get all the like updates on what like corporate strategy is for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, like all this kind of stuff. It seems like a pretty hot scoops, guys. You want to get all the news updates, like straight from the source. Check it out.
I think we got scolded. Hold on.
Did we get scolded? Who scolded us?
Matt? Did you just scold us for talking G-dubs? for talking G-dub stock? I don't know.
No, we didn't get scolded.
Did we get scolded?
No.
I get in trouble all the time.
I do need another cream soda, though.
Okay. I'm going to start the discussion about the Grav guns versus Melta guns.
Twist off cream soda.
It is. But I have to get my codex. So Matt, entertain them for a second while I run downstairs.
Oh, hold on.
Entertain, Matt.
I'll
Dance.
do a little dance. It's good, right? That's all you're gonna get. Sorry, sing. I don't know what to sing. Oh, hold on. I got this. When you wish upon a star. Makes no difference who you are. That's all you're gonna get from me singing. So, so back to Melta guns. There's a lot of math there.
Yeah, Matt doesn't know much about.
There's a lot of math. Emilio Estevez.
He does.
Do I look like Emilio Estevez, like Repo Man Breakfast Club era, or like Gordon Gekko Mighty Ducks kind of thing, or
why the outfits?
Because I'm awesome. That's why. That's why the outfits. What does he look like now? Probably not good, right? That's what I'm guessing. So I'll take like 1986. Mighty Ducks era, that's okay. He was a successful
Young Guns,
successful drunk lawyer, right? Is that what he gets busted for? Like drunk driving, right?
I don't know. I've never
In Mighty Ducks, that was
Ducks.
a different era. Men at Work, okay, I'm on board with that. I'm on board with. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. That's good.
Emilio in a tank top.
Yeah, that was. Oh man, I got some tank tops.
Don't encourage it. Matt's the name of Matt's company is Prettiest Princess Gaming.
Yeah, Prettiest Princess Games.
So that's kind of maybe fits in with the.
Well, what's actually really funny about it is that I was kind of doing this before I named the company. So I was drinking a lot of cream sodas and going to conventions. I've run a couple really successful Pretty Princess tournaments at conventions. If anyone remembers that game from when they were a 6-year-old girl, that was fun. It's basically a plastic jewelry collection game. And, it's good to get a bunch of, like, grown men playing that. If anyone here knows Z-Man games, they do a lot of big stuff, Z-Man.
I've never heard of Z-Man.
Well, Zev, the Z-Man. They do Pandemic, they do Carcassonne, now Carcassonne in the U.S. A lot of stuff.
The man's already, he's out of my realm as far as
But we're about to go very far out of my realm. But
yeah, I know.
But Zev was in the final of the last Pretty Princess tournament that I ran, and we put him in a belly dancer outfit because all the finalists had to play in gowns. So you can lurk that out on the internet and try to find like one of the most important person in certainly board gaming industry drinking a lot of cream soda with me in a. In a belly dancing dress. So
you're odd, dude.
It's kind of really good. It's kind of really good.
Let's talk Melta guns. So Kat put up some info. He was ready, man. He had that typed up and ready to insert as soon as I started talking Grav and Melta. Melta guns wound the Wraith Knights on a 5+. Grav guns wound them on a 3+. But Grav guns are salvo, Melta guns are assault 1. So what does that mean? What does salvo mean? Who's got the answer to that?
Oh man, the one girl that's there is leaving.
Is there a girl?
I'm guessing Mini Girl is not a dude.
You never know.
But I mean, either way.
Mini Girl, don't go. We need more girls.
Well, see ya.
Put up a picture.
No, get out of here. What are you, awful? You're not... Oh, God.
That's always like the next stage when talking to any kind of girl.
ASL. ASL. Is you guys too young to remember ASL?
She is a girl. What's AS?
When you were in like AOL chat rooms in middle school.
ASL? What's it stand for?
Age, sex, location.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what's up? What's up? I enjoy what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
Green Day fan 42.
That's a whole discussion right there. AIM. What a huge part of society AIM was, and now it's just.
Well, it was AOL even before.
Yeah,
the
AOL.
chat rooms.
Yeah. What? Okay, let's get back on task. I always get off task here. So Grav versus Melta. Salvo means you get 3 shots when standing still, and 2 shots when you move, but reduces the range. Yeah. So right there, I think we have the answer. Melta, because the discussion was why do Grav guns when Melta guns are just as good, but they're not just as good because they're both AP2, I believe, right? Grav is 2, and Melta is AP1. Armor piercing. Matt is not a 40K player.
I played a long time ago. Hobby Hot Tips. That's a good name.
Uh-oh.
I'm glad. Let's plug that.
I'm gonna scold you, mini girl, for putting a link in chat because that's against the rules. But then I'm gonna click on it.
Oh, don't do that.
Well,
I mean, like, be in trouble.
we're not allowed to put links in there.
I feel like we're listening to the audio now. Is that coming through of the video?
No, they're not actually hearing my audio.
Hey guys, I'm Mini Girl with
Oh, you're like totally normal looking. This is outrageously unprecedented in Warhammer.
I was expecting like Miley Cyrus kind of ponytail things.
So bundle up and let's get started.
Look at her paint station. That's pretty
We could just
impressive.
watch a video while we're on.
I'm sorry, but I'm
This
distracted
guy.
now.
And see, you know what? Can you hear that?
Why are you wearing gloves, mini girl?
I think
It's
she's gone.
hard as ice. Pretty cool, right?
You know what? I'm gonna. How do I subscribe to her?
You usually click the subscribe button.
I'm now subscribed to you, mini girl. Although, for some reason, here's something that irks me, by the way, getting back to Grav in a second. YouTube and Google, for some reason, are doing this thing where I've got a Jawaballs channel, and then I have my personal channel.
They're condensing.
And
it,
now they've condensed them. So whenever I log in, it logs me in as Chris Dubuque and not Jawaballs. So I have to, be careful who I'm posting as. So I don't know if I just subscribed as me or as Jawaballs.
Do you regret being Jawaballs? Like, because now you meet people and they know you, and instead of saying oh, hey Chris, you see people like a games day, and they're like, hey Jawaballs. Do you wish that you came up with something that was more like, hey, Grand Inquisitor Chris, or something, or just your real name as an adult?
You know what's funny is that same topic came up last time, and I told a mildly humorous anecdote about how when I was on Match.com years ago, I used that name on Match.com.
That's going to attract the best. That's the highest caliber.
But people
there.
that don't know Jawas read it as Jawaballs, and it's a little bit awkward and weird. So I didn't get very many emails.
Yeah, that usually doesn't work so good. Doesn't work good. Actually, we had a friend today that we signed up for OkCupid, and we were talking about names and naming yourself. And my one friend was trying to come up with all these cool names, and I was like, just use a real name. You want to meet these people in the real world, and you don't want people to walk up to you and be like, hey, what's up, pothead 42069 X.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
Exactly.
Have a real name.
Jawaballs, it stays with you. You remember it.
Well, now you've become you're there. So it's,
yeah. So that's who I am. It's funny how it all came. I told the whole story of the birth of Jawaballs, and it has nothing to do with Jawa's balls either. It's a very innocent kind of thing. But oh look, my YouTube channel. Thank you, thanks, Miss. He's the man. He's like the moderator.
Is he the guy? Because
Yeah,
seems
he's
like
the
he's
guy.
the guy. He's really
Miss is like the guy. The way the rules, the very loose rules are. Miss is the only one allowed to post links
good.
because he's like the moderator. I mean, and we just because we don't want dudes spamming. So the rule is don't post links because we don't want spammers spamming and making a mess and putting up nefarious links.
I do have gold for sale if you play a popular MMO.
What are you talking? What?
No, I'm trying to spam everyone.
So Matt is
It was a
spamming
joke.
you guys.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Oh,
It
Matt's
wasn't a
spamming
good
you
one.
guys.
Wasn't a good one.
Mist is the ban hammer. Has anybody actually been banned from this? Mist, have you banned anyone? I think early on when I first started doing my shows, there was a couple of dudes that we had to kind of talk to.
Hi, I'm here to talk to you today about I don't know something.
Uh-oh, Matt, this guy's yelling at you.
Enough commercials.
It was a joke. So getting back to the Grav gun and the Melta gun. So the difference being that Grav guns are better than Melta guns at the current monstrous creature trend with the super high toughness. And however, Grav guns are terrible against anything else because they're a weapon that uses a target's armor against them. So a Grav gun against one of these things, this has a 2+ armor save, so it wounds on the armor. So so you need to roll a 2 or higher to wound this. But against an orc that has a 6 armor save, you would wound against that armor, so you need to roll a 6 to wound that. So Grav guns are terrible against light infantry with no armor. But they're super effective against large monstrous creatures.
As an outsider, I would say it's usually a good idea to focus fire on big, really tough things anyway, and then worry about smaller squad guys after. So if you can, this guy is going to probably crush a lot of things.
That guy causes a lot of problems. You know, they both got their uses, honestly. But I think in the current game, as far as competitive 40k, grav guns, because you don't honestly see a lot of orcs. In fact, I don't know if there was any orcs. Maybe a couple out of 256 armies at the Nova Open. I think there was maybe 2 or 3 orc armies. Just shows you that you don't have to worry about that. But there was at least 100 armies with Tau in them. I mean, there was a lot of Tau at the Nova. I don't know the numbers. I'm just kind of estimating off the top of my head. I might be way off. But yes, you're right. A Melta pops a Land Raider, and a Grav weapon doesn't scratch it. Those scratch paint on an orc truck. On an orc truck. Grav guns best on Centurions and bikes, but still love plasma. Plasma rapid fire. Yes. So I guess the point of it all is that really what the grav guns add to the game is that you have to kind of even further water down your army to use them, because you can't go all grav guns, because then you lose your anti-tank. And if you go all, you know, but they're great against the monstrous creatures. But the thing is, Melta guns are also pretty good against monstrous creatures, but not as good as grav guns. So is there a winner in the standoff between Grav and Melta? I don't know. At this point, they're still new, and we don't know what the impact they're going to have on the game 6 months from now, which is when it's really going to matter. Grav guns.
You guys commit pretty hard too, right? Because like your models have to represent the appropriate weapon.
Yeah. Well, here's something interesting.
What's the situation?
You have to be WYSIWYG. So if you're in a tournament, the models have to be represented, and I like that. The winner is a Stern Guard mix. You're right about that. You know, if you got a Stern Guard squad coming out of a pod,
Games Workshop is the real winner.
Yeah, they are the winner.
Because
Combi Grav. But there's a company, I don't know the name of it at all, but I saw this really sweet looking grav gun alternative weapon. It looks awesome. And so if you look around, you'll probably find something that looks like a grav gun. So the point is that while you do have to have it modeled, it doesn't have to be the model. It can be something different. Just trying to catch up on the chat. When my voice starts to run out, I look at the chat to see if there's any questions I can answer.
No question. Oh, somebody asked you about Army Painter's paints.
Where was that?
It's right at the top there.
Do you like Army Painter paints? Yeah, I think she was leaving. I think that I messed that. I am a huge fan of Army Painter, and but I also hate Army Painter. Weird, huh? I have ruined at least a lot of my models by using Army Painter because it's so temperamental. Army Painter is for advanced hobbyists, and if you were a beginner to wargaming and this hobby, don't use it, because unless you're prepared to ruin your models, because it ruins them in a couple of ways. If you're not careful and you pause for a second, you fill in the details on your models as you're spraying them. And but also, though, it has a tendency, based on the humidity, to dry midstream. So when it hits the model, it's actually hitting it as grit and sand, and then it stays like that. So I do love it, in my opinion, when it's working well, when it's not humid and you're in a quality climate-controlled environment. It's the best primer, in my opinion. But I do have one.
I really like the Reaper paints. I'm a huge fan of the
spray prime.
Well, not just prime. I mean, like, are we just talking prime?
We're talking.
Army Painter is just primer.
Army Painter is mostly just primer.
They do a lot of flocky stuff, right?
Yeah.
Too, like, yeah. Oh yeah. Primer, I don't care as much. I guess I'm just lazy and usually use the GW primer.
I've been kind of digging this one that I found at a local hobby store. Like, he kind of licenses. I think he gets it from Home Depot. I don't know the actual brand of the paint, and I don't know where he gets it. But he gets it from, I believe, Home Depot, and it's awesome. So look around, try Home Depot, honestly, and see. GW makes a fantastic spray primer that is less susceptible to humidity and climate, but it's $16 now a can, so it's not really affordable.
I don't do a lot of painting, and I'm not good, so my standards are somewhat less. Although I did. I just, got in on Reaper Bones 2, so I have a whole nother enormous box of minis on the way.
Oh yeah, I gotta get on that too. Reaper bows.
Yeah, I typically actually Miniature Market is pretty great for Reaper paints. I also order a lot direct from them just because I do like to support them. They're really cool. I can also say that if anyone is ever in the Dallas Fort Worth area, it's worth like the hour drive to go up to the Reaper factory. It is super cool. They're really awesome. They'll tour you around. It's really cool to see how everything's made.
Yeah,
you can see them mixing paint. You can
yeah.
see I got to drop metal in and do a little spin of the metal mini casting. It was.
Where is
awesome.
that? It's like in Austin, right?
It is in Denton, Texas, which is about 45 minutes north of the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Mini girl said don't get any paint.
Oh, this dress is I go through dresses relatively quickly. I drink a lot of cream soda at conventions, and I get up to a lot of mischief-related antics, and they do not hold up. These are not the highest quality of fabrics, let's say. So we after Halloween is a glorious time.
Oh, that's right. You can
cheaper.
score lots of good costumes, right?
Exactly. I try to load up every November 1st.
To get back to the primer, if you are looking for white primer, I saw a buddy using Walmart white spray primer, and it looked pretty nice. He was spraying his Tau Army with white primer, and it had a nice, smooth finish to it. I was very impressed by the fact that it was 99 cents a can. For white primer.
Well, it's the same thing when you're learning those. What is it? Apple Barrel. Those are the paints. It's the Walmart crap.
Oh yeah.
It's but it's 99 cents. And
I use that stuff for my bases now.
Yeah, it's not awful.
The reason why it's really good for basing is that it has a nice matte finish because it has less pigment. First of all, it has less pigment, so it's not as it doesn't.
Apple Barrel, the Walmart. I believe it's not called Walmart brand. Apple Barrel is what I think it's.
I don't know, but you can probably find it at Michael's too.
Michael's, Walmart. Yeah, it's kind of the.
I have a version of it right here. Let me find that bottle.
It's like 99 cents for You hate Apple Barrel, yeah. I don't really use it a lot, but I think it's a good.
It's not really
when you're
great.
getting into learning, your stuff's gonna kind of suck anyway. So you might as well not spend a bunch on it. Is kind of my attitude about it. You're not painting golden demons. It's just not. It's not happening. So start out with the Apple Barrel and cheap models to just kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it. I would never really use it on my competition models, but except for my basing because I like how it doesn't overpower. I don't have to try not to overpower my models with basing because you never want to paint your base and have the base interfere with the beauty of the model. So the bases have to accent, not overpower. So that's why I use that really cheap stuff in Michael's because it just looks good and it works. It's got a nice matte finish, kind of a dry luster. You're right. It has a low pigment. It's not really great for painting models. How's the weight loss going? I am actually up half a pound. Because I restarted my
too much cream soda.
My skinny Jawa, and exactly. My brother was in town over the weekend, and I was not really watching what I ate. And then last night I was over at Matt's house celebrating the launch of his Kickstarter, and I had some pizza there too.
We had a lot of pizza.
Yeah, you and I put it away at least a pie.
I've eaten a pizza and a half today so far. Some leftover pizza.
But I did make a fairly healthy dinner. I had bison burgers with lots of vegetables and stuff. Matt had some
I came and ate one of those after eating an entire pizza this afternoon.
Bye, Minnie girl.
Very healthy.
I'm on every week, Minnie. We'll see you next week.
Yay.
Oh, Miss just put up a link to the Walmart white primer. They have a gray and a black too. The black is not very good. I've tried it and it's got a very gloss finish and it's thin and it's not good. But the white looked nice when I saw a buddy using it. Although I've never tried it myself. So if I had to pick a primer, I would. And I lived in San Diego. I would love Army Painter. Which I still use nowadays, only because after several years of using it, I've learned how and when to use it.
Don't use it in August.
Don't do it in August, and that's sadly that's when I do a lot of my painting for my fall armies. Because I did ruin at least a full squad of Blood Angels using Army Painter Dragon Red. Yeah, they're primers. And holy crap, it's 7:46. We are out of time, folks, and I'm going to wrap it up.
How long are we supposed to be on?
I usually go for about 45 minutes now, mostly because I want to watch Marvel. You watch
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it good? Do you guys like S.H.I.E.L.D.?
It's pretty good. So there's Matt's link
thank you guys.
to his Kickstarter.
I totally plugged it real hard.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was the point of tonight.
That's fine. I didn't. We talked about like other stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't.
But that's good. I'm glad. I apologize because it's for those of you that are interested. Definitely check it out. That's awesome. For those of you that could care less, thanks for letting me sort of like detract from some of the stuff that you actually want to talk about tonight.
Like I think that I enjoy talking about these things because I try a lot of products, and and I think that I have a wealth of information and experience to share on these things. I try a lot of things. I spend a lot of money on stuff, and I think that it's better for me to spend money and talk about it than to you spend money and hate what you've done. So that's the biggest reason why I don't make any money talking about Army Painter. That's for sure.
Yeah. If you guys are really interested in hearing me talk about board games more and other people that are more talented than me talk about board games, FortressAT.com is like a sort of like article-based website, forums and all that I write for and do the podcast for, and we talk about board games, wargaming, kind of everything. It's sort of a bigger focus, sort of like everything.
Fortress
AT. It's like Fortress Ameritrash.
There it is.
Perfect. But yeah, we do a lot with them. So they, or it's we, because
it's funny. Like the whole board gaming is like a subgenre of the nerd culture.
Oh yeah.
And there's so much there. It's almost like you can't even get into it because once you do, you're sucked in.
Oh, it's huge. At Essen last year, over 800 games launched at the the Essen Game Fair, which is like the big national international show for gaming. 800 games.
Wow.
What? I haven't played 800 games.
Wow.
New games this year.
I mean,
yeah. Oh, if you like the dress and the antics, I wrote a recent con report for Gen Con, where I wear a lot of dresses and drink a lot of soda.
Matt he's a videographer at first. At one point, you were
I went to film school. I did stuff.
So you can tell when you look at some of the stuff he puts on because the videos are really well done. The one that I'm referring to now is the one he used for his Kickstarter. That it's just fun to watch. You just watch it. You kind of glaze over watching this thing for 5 minutes. Because it's just well done. All right, that's it. I got to wrap up. I got to go put the baby to bed and get things settled down so I can watch Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for another hour. That's the next show tonight?
That's an orc-related show. Is it orc with a K or orc with a C? Like, what universe are we talking about there?
Orc with a K.
Because one's fantasy and one's
they're
40K?
They're both Ks.
They're both Ks?
Yeah.
I thought like didn't fantasy used to be orc with a C, and then
I don't know. These guys will tell you.
And 40K was orc with a K, right? Am I right about that?
I don't know. I think
or is it? Or is G-Dub always orc with a K?
I think it's always been orc with a K.
Fantasy has a C. Oh, look at that! Look at me. Ah, that's right. That's right.
All right, nerd, king of the nerds. Look at you in your funny dress. Show us some of your ink, man. This is pretty.
I have many tattoos. They're all
Matt is covered with.
They're nerdy
With like Lord of the Rings and stuff. And cool. All right, I gotta run. Anyway, guys, it was fun. It was fun talking to you again, and I'll be on again next week. Maybe Matt will return. Yeah, it's kind of nice having a co-host.
I talk a lot.
You know what I want to do next week is maybe play a game of X-Wing.
I'll play. Yeah, sure.
Maybe we'll do that next week. Well, actually, I'll try and get the good camera set up and with a table.
I can be a lot more family friendly when playing games and rolling dice. I have no problem at all.
You get to watch Matt play in his Snow White dress, or
I'll wear a different dress.
He's going to try on my wife's Wonder Woman outfit.
Yeah, I really want to get a Slave Leia going. So if anybody wants, if you back that Kickstarter, if a bunch of you guys back that Kickstarter,
don't do it.
We will. We'll get Slave Leia going, and I will ruin all of your childhood fantasies.
No. On that note, guys, thanks for coming and watching. It was a fun show. I'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
We're done.